welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Uh, Welcome back to Geeking Out.
Yeah. Well, right now it's just the two of us. It's
Yeah.
just Julian and me, Ricky Z.
Uh,
Welcome to another Monday night with Geeking Out. Where we talk about geeky shit or
yeah.
stuff. I'm sorry, it's only after 8.
Oh,
Um, um, but yeah. So Julian, introduce yourself.
yes, I am also the other host here tonight. Sorry, I'm Julian. I'm Julian Ramirez, Fat Juju. You can find me on Twitch. You can see here. Also on Instagram. Artist, Ruho, nerd, fantasy buff, like all those things. So it's a good time. It's a good time. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, my light is really bright today. But we are missing a couple. We usually have Taman and then Jermaine. It's actually Taman's birthday today, so
Happy
everybody
birthday,
please
Taman.
wish him a happy birthday. He is, we think, 25. Nobody really knows. That's what we're gonna go with, and we're gonna hope for the best.
We'll say he's a fresh 20-something.
Yeah, he's a fresh 20-something. Yes,
I like it.
That's a good idea. So, we're wishing him a happy birthday, and then Jermaine will be joining us at some point tonight.
Yeah,
that is what we're hoping for. But yes, but yeah, welcome back, and to this special episode where we will be talking about Black DC heroes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Black History Month, so we thought that in celebration of the time and the period, we would kind of delve into our POS our Black
right Black
geeky fandom part, parts of our geeky fandom. So so we're gonna start with we're doing DC heroes now, so it's a fun time because they've had like a pretty up and down. They've had a pretty up and down ride with their characters. So
depending on which medium you're watching them in.
Yeah.
So some mediums do better than others. So I didn't get the chance to introduce myself. I'm Ricky Z. I am mom, educator, business owner, whatever. I like Buffy and Vampire Diaries and all those other fun things, and fangirl extreme. So that's me. So we're gonna get started with something we haven't done in like quite a while. We're gonna do what are you geeking out about? Like it's been quite a few episodes where we actually just sat and talked about what we're geeking out about. Like it's been either us doing a quiz in preparation for whatever the main topic is or something else completely. And so let's go back to the basics. What are we geeking out about?
Yeah. Okay. So, what are we geeking out about? I'm gonna actually go with a quick one. Lately, I have been watching. It's really fascinating, but the whole inventing Anna, and so it's another one of those scammer. Well, I guess after the success of whatever that other scammer, Tinder Swindler is.
Yeah.
So Tinder Swindler came out a few months ago, a month or two ago, and it was like this big thing, and I guess it's just about scammers. So like the rise of watching them is on. So there's one about Anna Delphi, and she became a New York socialite, but essentially by lying. You know what I mean? So she ended up like running in circles with the elite. Essentially by lying and things, but she kind of had a dream, I guess, and she was just trying to make it happen. So I can see, I don't know, it's just really interesting how the story unfolds, but and it's a little bit cooler because it's a real life story. So it's like, oh, this bitch, she was real. She actually did not all of these things, the dramatizations, but
right.
You know what I mean? She still tricked a few and was able to like really make her way into like the inner circle elite ring of like the New York scene. Power to her.
Ooh, yeah. I have not gotten into any of the new Netflix stuff yet. Like I haven't seen season 2 of Cheer yet. I haven't watched Inventing Anna. I haven't seen Tinder Swindler. That's kind of a tongue tie.
Yeah, that one's a hard
one. Like I think I mentioned this last week. Like I literally don't watch Netflix enough to warrant for me to have it, but like my kids watch it more than I do. So No, because they have some really good like kid content on there. So what
I
was
do.
yeah, like Centaur World. Like Claire, my daughter and my son, they like to watch Centaur World, and it has Megan Hilty. So for like you theater fans out there, if you're a theater fan, you know who Megan Hilty is. If you've ever seen the show Smash with Catherine McPhee, that had Megan Hilty. She's blonde and beautiful, and she kind of looks like when you dress her up just right, she looks like Marilyn Monroe. So she's a voice in that one, as well as Renee Goldberry, who played Angelica in Hamilton. Like,
Okay.
yeah, so like great voices that are singing songs in this cartoon off of Netflix.
Yeah,
Like,
we're here for it.
yeah, like it's enough for me to like be interested. It piqued my interest a little bit just to see who was singing, because the kids love it.
Yeah. So how's the soundtrack feel?
The soundtrack is funny. It's like your goofy Cartoon Network type music.
Oh, okay.
Where it's talking about the things that's happening around the plot, but like the things that are in the plot are just goofy and weird. So like it's funny. So it's a cute little show. I like it.
That's fine.
Yeah, but I'm not exactly geeking out about that. I am right. I need to finish up Euphoria. The season finale just aired last night.
I need to get into the show. I hear it's wild.
Very wild, and like I can't keep my eyes away. Like granted, like I've been able to have some restraint. Like so these shows that like are going back to the whole like coming out once a week. Mm-hmm. Like I kind of like being able to like catch up.
Yeah, I do like that though. Yeah, to be honest, because I felt like we were just all binging for the longest time, and like,
oh yeah,
so it's like let's tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, and I kind of like being able to like maybe wait. Like if I miss a week, it's okay because I can always go back, or just like wait a couple weeks and then like watch the rest of them in succession, and that's fine. And then I'm still I want to catch up on some more on Bel Air. Like I'm still watching that. And let's see what else is there. I guess there's some other stuff on Peacock that I'll eventually get into, but like there's so much stuff that I have not like been able to sit and watch unless I'm like.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes there's almost too much stuff to watch, and it's like, how am I going to get through all of it?
It is too much stuff to watch, and unless I'm like watching it in research for this show, like I don't get to watch like too much stuff just because I'm like, and if I do watch it, it's something to fall asleep to, like something to have on the background.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like it's just I guess I'm a little bit busier these days. You know, we're coming back off of the pandemic. So I feel like our workloads are just getting a little bit bigger now, and so like trying to do that stuff is a little hard to do as much as it used to. Billy, we haven't heard from you in so long. Welcome back.
It's good.
See, you listening to stuff dropping 100. Yeah.
Yes. That's when I'll definitely listen to like my favorite podcast, or I need to make some playlists off of Spotify because right now it's just like random things that we've just kind of picked up based on other music that we've liked. And
so although sometimes I like that though. I do enjoy when so at night is when I'll kind of do it. I'll let YouTube kind of just go and play whatever you're gonna play and do whatever happens. So like in the middle of the night or whatever, if I wake up and like I'll hear a song that's like, oh, this is actually really good, and I was like, I've never heard of this song before, but it comes on because it's a related playlist and because everything is just kind of going as it goes. So you just get random things. That's always really fun because it's getting a nice little discovery.
Yeah. So with Spotify, like it'll have like its daily picks or something like that, but like it has multiple like playlists of like daily jams based off of like certain genres that I'm constantly listening to. So it's like either it's something that's similar to Chloe and Halle / Beyonce / Doja Cat, or and if like my kids are in the car, like it's lots of Disney stuff too, so don't judge.
I got a little bit of breakup, but I definitely heard Disney in there
Yes.
for the kids.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, we're doing good. We're doing good.
Yeah.
But Disney's got some good jams these days. Well, do they still do like Radio Disney, like Kid Disney, where they do like the modern bops in the Kid Disney versions?
Oh God, they still do Kids Bop. Oh my God,
Is that or was it Kids Bop? Is that what it is?
Kids Bop. So like Disney would have its Disney Channel stars do its like do renditions of like other Disney songs like from the movies,
Yeah.
and then there's Kids Bop.
Okay.
Kids Bop is not Disney related, but Kids Bop is awful. I hate and that's someone that like constantly has to hear it all the time, because if you want to have some music in the background at school, you can only have the Kids Bop is the only one that's like you can trust to not be like inappropriate.
Oh yeah. No matter what's on, what comes on off of there, it's gonna be okay.
It blows my mind like what they'll take from the radio and then like
how they'll spin it.
Yeah,
like you're like, oh, this is not WAP at all. Yet I'm singing WAP somehow,
right? or like anything from Lil Nas X. They'll take Lil Nas X songs that are clearly like supposed to be about something else, and they got some 9-year-olds singing the lyrics. I'm like,
it's about Lunchables, and it's like, bitch,
it's not the move. No. Hey, Jermaine,
change the song. It's all about dance parties and candy. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm here for the dance parties.
I love a good dance party, but I can't.
Did you hear the Kids Bop version of Rihanna's S&M? And it was switched up to be about s'mores and marshmallows.
No.
Shut up.
No. Oh no. Okay, so like
they should just call it Eminem.
No. Okay, so back when you remember her song "Rude Boy"?
Yeah.
So like I jokingly created lyrics for "Rude Boy" as if Kids Bop was going to do it. I pray to God that's never actually a thing. I don't know. It was. Look, I had to go like somewhere deep in the recesses of my Facebook memories to find the lyrics.
I was gonna say, did you post these anywhere?
Stay away from Rihanna's discography,
please. Anything beyond that first album is a no-go. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm. See, that's why if I were a teacher of an elementary school, they would never hear music that happened after 1985.
Right.
Oh no.
Although that makes sense.
It's time for silent reading. Everyone, get out your books. And today,
but my kids are in pre-K, they can't read yet.
And the spinners.
But my kids can't read. They can't drop everything and
read. We're
gonna
be singing patty cake for the rest of the day.
Look, we'll sing some ABCs now. Don't hate.
And somebody with her buttons. What was it? Miss Mary Mac?
Miss Mary Mac. No, man, that's why we have Jack Hartman. So like, okay, so side note, like there is this musician called Jack Hartman, and he makes all the educational songs that you could ever want. He's this older white guy with glasses, looks like somebody's like grandpa that's trying to be cool, and he gets down, he jams. Like push come to shove, I'll play some Jack Hartman in a heartbeat for the kids. For the kids.
Mm-hmm. Jack love the kids.
Jack Hartman loves the kids. That's all I know.
Oh well, I have never heard of him. We'll probably have actually. But
you might have.
That it's him. Kind of thing.
You might have, but yes, that's what I'll take that. I'll take Jack Hartman singing about ABCs and rhyming words, and
I want to hear Jack Hartman like start his song, and then they break it up in the middle with a little remix.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Missy on the background with a Missy on the background.
Jack Hartman, if you're singing this, do that, please.
Jack Hartman featuring Missy Elliott.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Yes. Look, he's all up on. Look, thank you, Billy.
We got a link and everything.
Look, if you. Oh man. Okay, so Jermaine, so do you want us to go to commercial and then get started, or what you want to do?
All right, we can do that. We can do that because, or do you want to hear the story?
I want to hear the story.
The story of how I got so late.
Ooh, this is a story of how I was born.
She was like,
I'm
"Oh
ready.
well, then let's go." Okay,
I'm
so I
ready.
turn on the computer, right? I'm like, "Oh, the alarm goes off. It's 3:30. Time to start setting up." I get everything set up. I'm like, "Let me turn on the computer, turn on my Wi-Fi." Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Go back in the room, play some Pokemon, let everything warm up, come back in, and it's shut down. And it's doing update.
No, I hate
And I'm
that.
like, okay, that's fine. I'll give you like a couple of like I'll give you a couple of minutes. I'm early anyway. So I leave and come back. I'm like, okay, it should be done by now. Let me go restart the computer. I restart it, and it's like, updating still. Hold on, wait, restarting. Don't touch the computer.
Yeah, I had to like install the updates, and then it's like you have to restart in order to make for updates to take effect. So then you restart, and then it's like has to
This computer
load some
said,
more.
"Do not turn off the computer. It will restart several times." I'm like, "What you mean several times?"
Also, what computer do you have? What is this? What is this that you are updating? This
Lenovo ThinkPad.
Right?
I don't know. It got a taste of the internet, and it said, "Oh, they're reading. Let me just update myself. I gotta come from like."
Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch, Billy. You just let him. I'm mad about it.
Billy Berserker said,
Someone
Jermaine, you
stream
really shouldn't try to stream for your Windows 95 machine. Not Windows 95.
Right?
Oh, no.
You might as well have NT.
My pain. I can't even come back from that.
Your monitor has a whole ass behind. Oh, my goodness. That's how old the computer is.
Did you dial into this connection?
AOL. Still using MSN online.
I'm like, it should be finished by 5, but then it wasn't. And I was like, you know what? Everybody just start without me. I'm just gonna start. So then I went through, and I looked at how much like percentage it was at. It was at 12%. I was like, So I turned all the internets off. Then it got mad at me.
Oh no, you done pissed off the computer.
No.
Turned itself off. It didn't just go, fine, I guess I won't update. No. It said fine.
Windows 95, no.
So then I turn it back on, and then it's like, hold on, let me undo all the changes I made.
No. Golly.
Did you just upgrade to Windows 10? Is that what just happened?
I can't remember what this thing runs on anymore. I'm pretty sure it was
Hope in a Dream. It only runs on Hope in a Dream.
Right. Golly.
So finally I get it turned back on, then I turn all the internets back on.
All the internet.
And then it doesn't want to turn on Chrome for whatever the reason. Finally got it on, and now here I am.
Yeah, I think Chrome is just updating across the board. Ricky, you were just saying yours was updating.
It was syncing. That's what it was. Oh yeah, it was syncing. So like when it does that, it'll tell me it's paused. And I could have sworn I got it updated like not too long ago, but I didn't do the whole like ritual of like restarting the internet and restarting my computer, like all the other stuff, which is what will then happen is that I might be frozen at some point, which shame on me, but I had plenty of time to do it. Like I said earlier, like I had so much caffeine, like my brain is focused on everything else except for what I need to be focusing on.
Computers are anti-black today, and I don't appreciate it.
On the last day of Black History Month too, man.
acting up.
Mm-mm.
I saw this thing before, and it said that if when you start to when you give up caffeine,
I'm not
your
doing
body just automatically 60%.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You 60%. You become 60% more likely to want to like kill yourself. I was like, what? Oh, that sounds terrible.
That
I
feels like
so
the complete opposite direction that I'm trying to go towards.
I feel like it does just kind of give you a little bit of depression when you have to let it go, because it's like you get the jitters. You're like always sleepy.
I don't have time for that. I don't have time for caffeine withdrawals, y'all. I don't have time for that.
That's what I'm saying. We're making it work.
Just live in it. Just live in the caffeine life
these days.
Like intravenously. Like honestly, at this point, like that's how I survive.
Like, that's what would do it, Billy.
Like honestly, if I'm usually running on like caffeine and like.
Who took this study? Who are the participants in this study?
Who put themselves through that? Like I'm running on caffeine most days. Like
who did this really? I call false news.
All right, are you ready for commercial?
Yes.
So let's hit commercial, and we'll come back and dive all the way into DC's Black History. DC Comics Black History, not Washington, D.C. That's a whole different bag of cats.
What contributes to mental health, or what causes mental health?
Spouses. People who lie on you because they accuse you of trying to take their man.
Whoa. Okay, that was real specific. Wow. Arteria.
That was personal.
Jermaine, come back.
And that was good. We are back.
So,
it was actually funny though. I wasn't expecting that one. DC Black DC history, and he was like, "Oh,
that's too much. That's too much." So that was commercial for No Clue, which is produced by Ricky Z Media, which comes back tomorrow at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is the podcast that I produce with some really cool folks that I met last year. So this is like season 4 premiere. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
What all do y'all talk about in No Clue?
Let's see. So it's usually different topics that affect the community, things that people don't really want to talk about or don't feel comfortable enough to talk about, things you might not have any clue or you have no clue about. Oh, you got your drink. Good for you.
Unprompted this time.
Right.
This was screwdriver today.
Ooh, that's what I need. But so tomorrow's episode will be about non-traditional relationships versus traditional / like committed relationships. So like polyamory.
Oh, you talking about Talk It Out?
No clue.
No clue. Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll be talking about like polyamory and open relationships versus committed relationships and low down on that. Cool. Yeah. So that's tomorrow. So you can find No Clue tomorrow on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter account, YouTube. So if you haven't seen it yet, look it up. It's great. There's some great folks. Exciting. Yeah. All right. Exciting.
Okay. So since I'm late to the game, I'm just going to go right into it. First of all, the drinking game, the word of the day, Superman.
What?
You think we wouldn't say it a lot? But no, he going to come up.
Oh, man. Okay. So there it is. Superman. Okay, so start us off.
DC Comics has a history of mostly having white characters. DC Comics history starts with the first superhero, Superman, way back in 1938.
Oh, right.
After that, we have Batman in 39, Wonder Woman in 1940, Green Lantern in 40 as well. Aquaman in 43, The Flash in 45, the Justice League or Justice Society in 46 or 52 or some junk. Like, it's so many characters.
Mm-hmm.
We love it.
Oh, are you seeing something? What'd you see? Oh. Shazam is a Superman.
Billy
Okay.
says Shazam is a Superman knockoff. Lots of knockoffs back in the day when the lawyers got involved.
I thought Shazam was part of DC, right? No, yeah.
Yes and no.
Is it DC that has all the knockoffs?
Was sort of like Superman in how they were both super strong and had flight, but the Big Red Cheese was completely different from Superman.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's the whole like, I'm really a kid, and whenever I say Shazam, I turn into this. Oh no!
What happened to who?
Moves over my hammy.
Oh no! What happened?
You want to turn back on?
Well,
my speaker turned off.
Oh no!
Yeah, no. So, but DC had a lot of like a lot of characters that were just kind of knockoffs. Now, do they? Felt like
not
DC
at this time. Not in the golden age. Not in the 40s and 50s.
Oh, okay.
The knockoffs didn't start until Marvel Comics jumped in the 60s. Marvel Comics already had characters in the 30s and 40s with the Human Torch and Submariner and Captain America in 1941 or 42. But they didn't have like one-to-ones like Hawkeye and Green Arrow until the 60s.
Wow.
So that will take us all the way into the 60s because, as you know, like DC Comics is established in the 40s. Back then, you couldn't have characters that weren't white because they wouldn't sell. Or, you know, the big wigs didn't believe they would sell, so they wouldn't produce such things.
Of course.
Which takes us all the way into the 60s. Marvel Comics is now there, giving DC a really good run for their money. And their writing style is completely different and all that stuff. And eventually they start having to one-up each other in who's going to be more progressive, who's going to push the envelope more, who's going to grab the attention of the youth. Because DC didn't have youth culture as by the neck as Marvel did. Marvel had Spider-Man, they had Fantastic Four, the Avengers was all right. Actually, the X-Men weren't popping then.
Right.
Yeah, this is true.
Like they were a team, but they didn't care about them as much as Doom Patrol. But it was still like their one-to-one teams were sort of getting whooped on. The Fantastic Four is scads more popular and more beloved than DC's Challengers of the Unknown, which is basically the same thing, but nobody cares about the Challengers of the Unknown.
Who?
Exactly.
I don't even know who they are. Like, bitch, what?
Look, so someone that is not like a comic book fan, as in like watching the comic books as much as I am like watching the other like forms of mediums with those comic book characters. Yeah, I'm like, who? I don't know who that is. Go ahead.
The Challengers of the Unknown are like a group of 4 adventurer, like white guys that go to random planets and stuff, just like the Fantastic Four, and just fight crazy junk. Or just go on weirdo adventures across the world. Just like the Fantastic Four. But the Fantastic Four is fantastic. But also,
Also,
Yeah, Blackhawk, the Blackhawks. That's another comic book that belonged to not Disney, DC, and just faded out of sincerity. The Blackhawk was like a pilot team from the World War II.
Black Hawk Down.
They played in, well, I guess that was the times, but like
that was the time.
they played into
a
like
lot
the
of
World
comics
War
at
a
that
lot.
time came out of World War II, and their stories came from World War II. Magneto's story comes from him being a survivor of World War II, and that's one of the things that people cannot let go of. And I'm like, it won't work for him no more. He's too old, or he would be too old.
Yeah.
Captain America's like first issue, literally him punching. Was he literally punching Hitler, or was it just a random Nazi?
It was Hitler.
It was
Hitler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So very direct, very direct.
So anyway, now we're in the late 60s. Things have gotten in full swing. Everyone's like, okay, we're doing now. How are we gonna like push the envelope? Because Stan Lee is over there like push it, push it, push it.
Hey!
Congratulations. Billy said, hey, nothing wrong with us old fucks. Look at 50 coming up this year.
All right, Billy. Good for you, sir.
Still young at heart.
See,
that's right.
50 isn't bad, but you can't be 100 years old threatening everybody with magnetic powers.
This is true. This is true.
Mutant powers are like muscles. They eventually wear out.
That's the age where you probably have a pacemaker. You probably should be careful with all those magnets.
Right.
He's like, I do shit wrong. My whole heart's gonna go on. It's gonna lose the fucking pace. That's it. Peter too.
So now Marvel Comics has got the jump on DC on having the first black character. That's Falcon. Falcon debuts in Captain America, and then directly after him, Fantastic Four debuts Black Panther in 1967. So DC, not to be undone, but sort of hella late, they finally get John Stewart, the Black Green Lantern, in 1971.
But we do love him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do love him.
Is he the most popular one?
For a lot of people, he is the most popular the most popular Green Lantern, in part because of the Justice League cartoon from the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, mostly because of that cartoon. Because until that cartoon, everybody thought of Green Lantern as Hal Jordan, just the white guy, just always that one, even though there are like 14 Green Lanterns.
Right. Right. Ooh, go ahead.
So we have John Stewart debuting in 1971. The 70s was like the time to bring out all of your ethnic characters. Like from the 30s to the late 60s, it was just white kids everywhere. And then the civil rights movement goes down, and comic writers and creators go, we can finally do this. Like reportedly, Stan Lee wanted to make Spider-Man a black kid from the jump.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But the publisher was like, no, that'll never sell. That'll never make money.
So he instead was the first character that they instead clothed from head to toe to kind of to get around that. So it's like, no, we can't make him black, but technically he could be anybody.
He could be anyone.
He certainly he could definitely not be white either, because nobody could know. He's entirely covered from head to toe. So he was also the first one that they did that to give that treatment, I guess, to maybe bridge that gap that they weren't allowed to.
Isn't Spider-Man like Jewish coded?
he is Jewish coded because he comes from Queens. He says a lot of Jewish things. A lot of the things that he and his aunt do are very like Jewish.
Yes, 70s was blaxploitation. So yes, you're right.
Yeah, and the Native American characters too. I also see that they did a lot of like.
Oh no.
Native American installments of
so here we go.
Because if you look at some of those early like drawings of those early black characters, black like comic book characters, they all look like, especially the women, they all look like versions of Foxy Brown back then, like Pam Grier. Blaxploitation to the max.
Foxy Brown and Pam Grier everywhere, and that's where we get Vixen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. But don't we have her?
Yes, we do. Yes.
So Vixen debuts in 1981, a whole 10 years later.
Right.
And for those of you that don't know, Vixen she's a model, a supermodel, a fashion model, however you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the heir. She's given this magical totem necklace from her grandmother. And her grandmother tells her, oh, by the way, I'm part of this African tribe. You're part of this African tribe. You are the inheritor of this magical amulet that will give you the powers of the animal kingdom. So
okay,
she puts
it. Stop it. He said animorphs. Stop.
Stop. I would love that power though. I loved the Animorphs, so yes.
So she puts it on, and as she touches it, she is imbued with the power of whichever animal spirit she wishes for a limited amount of time.
It's giving so like I hate to make the comparison, but like it's gonna have to happen. It's gonna come up because of like the alignment of the characters between the two different franchises. So like Vixen is giving me Storm / Black Panther in a way.
Yes, but more to the point, more specifically, she's more like Beast Boy, but without shape shifting.
That's true.
Because both of them can only do one animal at a time. Mm-hmm. Well, until recently, where power creep just came up because everybody has to have powers that can almost rival Superman. So now she can use like multiple animals at once.
Ooh. What an observation, Billy. What an observation.
I mean, it's true. There's a lot of bestial people in the DC comics. They got the Vixen and the Beast Boy and the Animal Man and the Moana Beast.
That's a bit of a kink. That's a bit of a kink.
Catwoman and Catman and
wow. Okay.
Fun fact, Catman just looks like Batman, but with his colors swapped in orange.
Yeah, Catman is a funny one. I like that one though.
Let me Google. I want to go ahead.
Yeah, we were talking about him for something.
Hold up, I gotta see this.
I swear we were talking about him for something for Geeking Out, maybe, wasn't it? We brought up a Catman, and we were just like, "Who is this?" We had to like Google him. I remember talking about it. So. Oh, it was for something. Yeah, we did Google him. I remember for something. It was one of the other shows. We might have been talking about Catwoman, perchance. and then Catman might have been brought up in the middle of that because I was like, I know these pictures. We've seen this before. And it might have just been honestly the fact that he looks just like Batman, only he's Catman.
I'm still like I'm kind of reeling off of this picture right here of like him sitting in bed, like licking his hand. Like,
yeah, what is that about?
I cannot.
It's so very. It's so Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
But mine is Michelle's like badassery, I guess.
Bad.
Catman's got issues.
He's got litter issues.
But anyway, also in the 70s, so we had Jon Stewart, and then we had before Vixen, we have the debut of Nubia in 1976 or 1977. Nubia,
this bitch.
Julian loves her for that one picture.
Honestly, one picture, and I was like, this is enough. I don't know who she is, but she's so beautiful. This picture alone is enough to get me hooked. She looked like Angela Bassett mixed with like Wonder Woman, mixed with like Grecian goddess, mixed with perfection. Like styling wise, Grecian goddess. She looks great though. She looks amazing.
She is a great character and very underused. Until like recently, they gave her like the Nubia and the Amazon story. So Nubia is Wonder Woman's twin sister. She is Wonder Woman's twin sister when Hippolyta made like Diana's statue. The statue that got like blessed by the gods and brought to life. Well, she made 2 statues, but Nubia's made out of black clay instead of like marble clay or whatever you want to say.
I see.
And eventually that was retconned. So
oh man.
So they're still sisters, but half sisters. So Ares had a child with Hippolyta, but also a child with some other Amazon at another, like in another Amazon tribe.
This isn't at all very Roman, Greek, whatever god this is supposed to be. I think it's very right on point.
So they were both born at the same time, but to different tribes with the same dad. Because
messy.
So who's he paying welfare to is the question. Child support.
Nobody. It's Ares. He don't pay nothing to nobody.
He's like, I don't pay any of these damn children. It must be nice to be some kind of Greek god. Because in real life, ain't nobody get away with that.
Pulling some serious Zeus, man. Because he was a deadbeat
just like
too.
your daddy.
Just like.
But
we love Nubia.
Hippolyta like seals him in Tartarus, and she's like, "You'll never get out." And he's like, "I will," and eventually he finds a way out, and blah blah blah. But after Nubia she comes from it's not Bana Migdal. That's where Artemis comes from. But anyway, Nubia goes to challenge Diana because she's like, she claims to be Wonder Woman, but I am the Wonder Woman. I was raised for this. So she challenges Diana, and they super match for every blow, every feat, whatever. And then Hippolyta's like, no, you cannot kill her. She's your sister. And eventually they come to terms, and they're like, oh, well, if you're my sister, then woo woo, let's go, sis. And they just, from then on, they're like straight up sisters.
Right.
But we never right?
I don't know, because that was me and my brother. We'd still try and kill each other. It would still be a death match.
Billy says, okay, you mentioned retcon. Now you have to mention how many times DC and Marvel have pushed the reset button.
Right, bitch. No.
Okay.
In the last how many
DC
years?
on reset button number 7. Marvel every once. And that was in the reset battle world thing. But it was a soft reset. It was not a complete reset. DC reset their entire multiverse and streamlined everything into one thing in 1984. That was Crisis on Infinite Earths. So they took all those alternate realities, all those alternate worlds that they had developed over the years. They're just like, nah, get rid of them all. We only have one Earth. All the stories take place on one Earth. And that was in 1984, and they restarted the entire series, the entire everything. So everybody that had been introduced has to be reintroduced. Superman has to be we have to reintroduce his character and get rid of half the powers he had.
Aye.
Wonder Woman, have to reintroduce her. Batman, for some reason, he's still sort of the same. I don't know how
they would never change Batman.
Always Batman.
They will never change Batman. DC will hold on to Batman to dear life. Oh, they will only give him a black coloration, and then of course he's not even Batman.
Well, recently there have been 2 people that have taken over for the role. Well, no, there are more black people in the Bat family now, because up until 10 years ago it was white.
White and McWhite whites.
So many white people. And now there's Cassandra Cain's Asian. She's Chinese. But also they have the Signal. He's new. He came out of, I think, We Are Robins. But basically, he's Batman's daytime Robin. He wears this really interesting black, yellow and black costume with this big white bat on his chest. That's, I think, made of day glow.
I'm mad that Batman day glow, first of all, but I'm mad that Batman relegated him to you can be my daytime Batman. You can be there at the lunch hour when no one else is doing anything.
Yeah, he still
the night crime fighting the heavy stuff for Batman.
Not brunch time, Robin.
Right? He counts himself as one of the Robins, but also he works during the day when everybody else is sleeping because everybody else works at night. But he does have his own motorcycle, and that's neat.
All right, so tell us some more more black DC characters that have shown up throughout the decades.
All right, so we were on Nubia in 76, and in 77 we get Black Lightning and Black Vulcan. Both of them debut at almost the same time, but Black Lightning came out first in the comics, but the creator didn't want him to be in a cartoon, so the Hanna-Barbera Super Friends cartoon made Black Vulcan instead to be part of their ethnic group of 4, because up until then the Super Friends were all white. So
I wonder if the Super Friends were on HBO Max.
Probably.
I think maybe.
I think so. They do have some old cartoons, and Hanna-Barbera is Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers territory. So if it's anywhere, it's on there.
And right when they got up to Challenge of the Super Friends, which is Super Friends season 13 or something like that, they added in Black Vulcan, who's the black guy, Samurai, the resident Asian, Apache Chief, the Native American, and El Dorado, the Latina guy. I think he's Mexican, but I don't know.
Probably Mexican, but probably
How
just
on the nose
ambiguously
can you
Latino.
be? How on the nose can you be?
Man. And they don't. Their names almost have nothing to do with their powers. Like Green Lantern, you see what he does. His powers come from a lantern. Flash, he runs. Okay. But like Apache Chief, what's his power? He grows.
That's it. He's big. He is big.
There you go.
Black Vulcan. Why is he that used to bother me as a kid? I'm like, what's his last name? Black what? Black what? Like Black Voltage? No, Vulcan.
He's like the Vulcan,
But he uses lightning. What? Why is he Spock?
Yo, honestly though, I think that's kind of why they were just doing some of these. They were just trying to reel in certain, you know what I mean? Certain demographics, obviously, without care for practicality, I guess. I don't know.
Well, we can say that.
They were trying to give representation, and it was pretty all right, but like,
that's cute.
It seems performative though. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, let's give him a character. Let's name it something funny, like, you know, the Chiefs or the Patriots or whatever the fuck.
Wait, so I'm looking. So like I'm like completely not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and looking on the HBO Max right now, like under their DC category. Oh, there is Super Friends. Super Friends is on here.
Mm-hmm.
And Steel. Talk about Steel real quick. I don't know Steel.
Oh, Steel. Okay, Steel came about in I want to say the 80s. No, he came in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So Steel is basically Black Iron Man.
Okay.
But like he
got money?
He used to work for Lex Luthor, I believe. He lives in suicide slums because of course he does.
Death of Superman.
And when Superman dies, everyone take a drink.
Pour one out for him.
Steel makes a suit of armor and takes to the streets with his like not enchanted hammer, but he's more of a sci-fi. He has this like this tacked out sledgehammer that he uses. But he still has Superman's big S on his chest, which eventually becomes known like is for Steel and not Superman.
Oh, okay. So
the man of Steel.
Pour it out, golly, Julie. Okay, but so Billy, like that's exactly what I was about to mention, though, because like I'm looking at it right now. Like
we don't talk about that movie. We don't.
But I want to talk about it because like that's what I'm looking at right now. Like I'm tempted to watch it tonight.
Shaq had a movie, a DC
Shaq's at least like 2-3 movies, but no, like there's one
Steel
like he plays Steel. He's Steel. Okay, it's back in '97. Like I'm looking at it right now.
Oh my jeez, I probably didn't see this movie. Sadly,
I never seen this one
because it sounds like something I would have seen. Shaquille O'Neal as a superhero.
It went to the theaters. Even it was an expensive movie, and it was on HBO for the longest time.
Well, it's on HBO Max.
Bitch.
Adding that to the watch list.
Let me see some stills from this bitch. Oh my god, I did see this movie. See?
No. We don't talk about that movie. We don't talk about Kazam. Shaquille O'Neal never had a movie career.
Because Kazam is the only one like I actually know about. Like I've never seen Steel, so like I know Kazam. Like it's in the back of my head. Like it's
also like young.
It's kind of like. Yeah, like that's a young one, like, cause like Kazam is like Shaquille O'Neal, like well into his basketball career. But like, I know we're not talking about it. I'm just saying it's on my watch list now, and it's been found for me. It's been found.
Actually, when I was a kid, I think I liked Steel. I can't remember.
Mm.
But at the time,
I feel like as a kid I did.
Superhero movies weren't really as prevalent as they are now. You don't have, like, you didn't have like good ones like we have now.
Mm-hmm.
You just got what you got, and that's it.
Yeah.
And black people, for the longest time, I don't know what this is, but we could not have a superhero movie that just played like a superhero movie. Like, it was always a superhero comedy. Blank Man, that was comedy. Meteor Man, that was a comedy.
Yeah. And Blade isn't really a hero. He's more like an anti-hero.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but still, it was more comedy than it was superhero. It was more satire and farce.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
And even Steel wasn't that great, but at least Steel played it straight. And so did Blade. Blade and Steel were the first ones that actually played it like, oh, you're a hero. Not like, oh, he's a superhero.
Stop it. Okay, but like I'm letting you know right now, like Super Friends is about to be a comfort show. Like I'm about to throw this girl on afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
Taking it way back.
Like it's chill out to and play in the background.
Like, this is something that I would have like watched as a kid, staying up super late at night. When you watch those super duper old cartoons on Cartoon Network, what it was like, Hong Kong Phooey and like, what's it? The kid and the dog. What's his name?
The kid and the dog. Davy and Goliath.
No. It's like the kid with the red hair and the dog that was like super smart, and they go back in time. And
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Peabody and Sherman.
Yes, Peabody and Sherman, like those old cartoons. Like this is what this is giving me right now.
Yeah. Oh, we're here for it.
Yeah. Oh, so Billy asked, what season did Cyborg become a super friend? Good question.
Oh, I was like, what you mean? Yeah, Cyborg became a character in 1980 when the new Teen Titans became a thing. So the original Teen Titans from the 60s were just everybody's sidekick thrown onto a team. And eventually they sort of break up, they sort of grow up, and then Robin gets a whole new group of friends. That's Cyborg, Starfire, Raven, Changeling, who eventually changes his name to Beast Boy. But then they join the team along with him and Diana. And I think Kid Flash was there too.
Yeah, the ones that we know and love right now.
And Cyborg eventually gets folded into the cartoons in Hanna-Barbera's 81 to 83 series, where Catwoman is also voiced by Melanie Britt, who later becomes She-Ra.
There's so much to watch.
Who thought?
There's so much to watch. Like, I'm just saying, like I know I'm bringing it back to HBO Max, but HBO Max has so much to watch.
Did you have a lot?
HBO Max has it all because DC is owned by HBO.
Right.
Oh, there we go. Now that makes sense.
Also valid, Billy. Don't be bringing up She-Ra unless you're going to put on the wig.
Yeah.
You've missed the wig a few times, Billy.
Few, yeah. Although, Jermaine, I don't know why it's not just like hanging on like a hat rack.
Like I need on a mannequin head.
You mean like on a mannequin head, like right there.
Like this needs to be part of your decor. I need that.
Right? It should be like a hat.
I should, but
the regular hat.
Let's keep going.
So we've got Animal Man. All these mostly are derivatives of existing heroes. Later on, we'll get like Val Zod. He's the Black Superman. We'll get Batwing, who is Luke Fox, who is Lucius Fox's son. Works for Batman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's basically Batman, but in an Iron Man suit.
Yes.
It's the proto
He's
suit that will eventually
one.
evolve into the suit that Terry McGinnis uses as Batman Beyond.
Mm-hmm. There's so many more that we haven't really got a chance to like really talk about. Like,
yeah, well, there's there's a lot.
There's a lot. Like, there's Bumblebee. There's Calderon. That's from like Young Justice.
Static Shock's my
Bumblebee
favorite.
is from the late '80s run of the Teen Titans. She gets folded into the group then.
Mm-hmm.
Calderon is a character from the mid 2000s. He's from 2005. He's from Aquaman, and he was originally Black Manta's son. But the thing about Calderon, so Black Manta specifically, he was always black. Black Manta was always black and was created way back in the 60s. I forgot about Black Manta because he's not a hero. But his original name, his original story is he's a guy from Louisiana who like got attacked by an Atlantean or whatever. He became a pirate, and then he started doing submarine junk. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to become the scourge of the seas. These seas belong to me, not to Aquaman, because Aquaman like beat me up once. And his name is Carl Durham. CarlDurham.
Stop it. Now Calderon. Yeah. Okay.
I see. I understand.
That's hilarious.
They get really creative sometimes.
They got so creative.
They put so much effort in.
They really trip me up here.
They love to treat their POC characters with such love, you know.
So eventually they change him up after the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then Infinite Crisis, and then Final Crisis, and he comes back after Final Crisis. By the way, each crisis restarts the world. Like, it restarts the universe.
Okay, so can we talk about Amanda Waller, please?
Ooh, Amanda Waller. The Wall. Okay, Amanda Waller is basically like the short, angry, black Nick Fury from DC Comics. She originally was hired by Batman to watch over Checkmate, which was his side project where he was getting super skeptical of the superheroes, and he wanted a contingency plan in case all of the superhero or superpowered people went rogue.
I can kind of see that, Billy. So Billy says Amanda would kick Nick Fury's butt.
She would.
I think I would agree. There's something about Amanda Waller.
She's angry all the time.
If I got to keep up with all these damn super folks and
and have to keep them in check, and I gotta babysit them, like
I'm gonna be pissed too. Shit.
Eventually,
that's Viola Davis. Yeah, sorry. And
Viola Davis is all right, but my Amanda Waller will always be CCH Pounder. She gives the best.
Okay.
If you don't know, that's the voice of Amanda Waller from the Justice League Unlimited cartoon.
Okay, so CCH Pounder, she has been in she's
been in a lot of stuff, but recently she's in NCIS New Orleans.
Yes, yes. That's a black staple right there.
Yes.
That's a black staple. She's been in business for a while. Yeah, I can see that.
She's been so much.
Yeah, I like Viola Davis's Amanda Waller. I think but they don't give her a lot in the Suicide Squad. Like we literally only see her in Suicide Squad movies, like for the most part. And then we saw a mention of her Peacemaker.
Viola Davis's Amanda Waller is far more, I want to say villainous, but like you don't really get the full feeling of her because it's just her versus her task force. You know, normally the strength of Amanda Waller, the fun of Amanda Waller is when she's squaring off against Batman, when those two are trying to one up each other all the time. And like, oh, I know your secret. Well, I know your secret. I know the secrets that you have that you're keeping from your friends. Well, I know the secrets that you're keeping from the government. Well, I know the secrets that you're keeping secrets from your other secrets. Like they're always trying to one up each other.
Okay, so we can't. So can I list some of the actresses that have
played her? Because I was just about to say,
or either voiced her. So we have CCH Pounder, we have Viola Davis, Pam Grier was in Smallville, Angela Bassett was in Green Lantern, Shirley Ralph was in Young Justice. Let me see, Cynthia Adai Robinson. Okay.
Say her name. I saw it before. I know
Cynthia Adai Robinson. She was in Arrow. Yvette Nicole Brown was in the DC Superhero Girls franchise, and yeah, that's a lot of
Vanessa Williams plays the DC Universe version. What is this? DC Universe. What is this?
For the video game?
Animated original movies. DC Universe animated original movies. Vanessa Williams plays.
As in, like Vanessa Williams, like
Vanessa Williams. Yes.
Well, I mean, there's two Vanessa
Williams.
Well, there's two Vanessa Williams.
Huh?
There's two Vanessa Williams, like the singer / former Miss
singer actress design.
Yeah.
Miss America. Yeah.
Pocahontas. Yes, Pocahontas Vanessa Williams.
Yes.
That's the one. She also does a voice for her. I love her. That's why.
Yes. Absolutely.
I adore that lady. I saw her live actually, like in one of her like more recent tours, where she just her songs that she kind of does like the best of Vanessa Williams. It was phenomenal. I have to say. I was like, lady, you getting up there, but you still killing it. I'm here for it.
If you got Billy, he asked if when I get a chance to voice Amanda, I don't know. I feel like my voice is too like nasally and high for that. Like I don't think I can pull it off.
I think you could. You just have to imagine that you're yelling at your kids all the time.
Damn.
Honestly, I think that your Amanda Waller would benefit really well by always playing like the smart card. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It'd be very
Amanda Waller has to play.
Well, this is true, but it's a less less subversive the way that we normally see her. I just think that Ricky's version of Amanda will just be very like checkmate. Like you just
I think
the controversial thing about Amanda Waller is in her conception, clear until 2011 when the New 52 came along, is that she was not like all the other women in comics. She was short, she was fat, she had short like that bullet flat top hair. Like nobody was going to be like, oh, she's so hot. No, she was angry and snippy and snidey and nobody liked her. All you want to do is see her get beat.
Oh, well, she's that kind of character, I guess.
And she's a dark-skinned black woman too.
And then until during the New 52, suddenly they slimmed her up. She's all super sexy and just like every other girl, just like skin tight everything, short haircut that swooshes over her eye. I'm like, where did this come from?
You know, I can appreciate, because I think in some of the things, like if you Wikipedia her, she's not like super thin. She's still a thickum. But like they're not playing into the I'm a sexy superhero task force.
Honestly, I do like that though, because you know what I mean. We, especially in comics, you know, we get very not great body image ideas.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's nice to see people who aren't all perfectly fit like all the time, like being main characters.
Switching up and changing up, surely but slowly. One of the things that I used to have an issue with, like, yeah, everybody in comics is mostly has like the ideal body. I get that, especially if you've been an adventurer and you're fighting crime all the time. You're going to be working out all the time, so your body is going to be right. But the one that gets me are like when you read X-Men and someone has like their powers debut for the first time as teenagers, and they like blow their shirts off or whatever. They're like, and they've already got like the pecs and the abs and everything. I'm like, how? You're 14. Calm down.
Right. I don't know many 14-year-olds that are that ripped and shit. You're like, bitch.
So okay, so before we wrap things up, because it's almost time for us to call it a night.
Yeah, so sorry.
Static Shock.
Oh, Static.
Yes, let's talk.
So one of the best things about DC. So DC has a habit of acquiring other comic book characters or acquiring other comic book companies. They acquired Fawcett Comics, they acquired Wildstorm, and they acquired, well, Milestone was sort of an imprint of theirs. But Milestone Comics was a comic book company started in 1992 by Dwayne McDuffie. Is that his name? Yeah. And he created this comic book universe solely to have black superheroes. And in this comic universe, he created Icon, which is basically Black Superman, but like he's also hundreds of years old. Rocket, his sidekick, she has the power to produce force fields and stuff. And Static, who is this little boy from like almost Detroit that gets caught up in a gang fight, and everybody gets superpowers, and he gains the powers of electromagnetic, like, zappies.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom sent him to Bel Air to live with his auntie and uncle.
Stop it. No, sir. Stop. Stop.
I'm sorry, I forgot what episode we were on.
So in the 2000s, they fold Milestone sort of goes out of business, and DC folds them into their world almost proper, but not fully.
Yeah.
But they acquire them and they just hold on to them. And then they make the cartoon Static Shock.
What year was this again?
Huh?
What year was that when those were like brought into DC? What year is that?
2000.
Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah.
2000 and 2004, I think that one.
Yeah.
So Milestone lives like it sort of lives on its own until 97. So from 92 to 97, and then it sort of buckles under the pressure. Dwayne pitches Static Shock all around, and DC still sort of helps them because DC's funding him. Like they're sliding him money under the table, but they're still like, you still work for us.
Rude.
And Static Shock goes over really well as a cartoon. It lives from 2001 to 2004. and it introduces a whole new, like, it deals with so many issues that Black kids deal with, or just youth in general deal with, that a lot of other comics weren't talking about or wouldn't talk about. Like, you wouldn't really get the discussion of being like a Black teenager in Spider-Man unless
you go to Miles Morales.
Actually, no, they dealt with it with Hobie Brown when what you don't know. Side note, skirt. In the 80s, they introduced Hobie Brown and Robbie Brown, Robbie Robertson's like nephew, Hobie, who was in a gang and all that stuff, but he wanted to undo the gang stuff that he was fighting. And he was working for Tombstone, but he couldn't let the gang know that he was fighting against them and messing their stuff up. So he took on the persona of the Prowler. And Spidey ended up helping him get out of it and everything. And then he stopped doing crimes as the Prowler and just started doing superhero stuff as the Prowler. Fast forward 20 years, and now the Prowler is Miles Morales' uncle.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I remember that now. Yes. Yeah. There's lots of stuff. There's so much we could probably discuss. Yeah.
Yeah. But Static Shock, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on. It's like this secret thing, but like Static Shock eventually folds into the DC Comics proper, and then Black Lightning ends up being his mentor. So now Black Lightning is teaching Static, but also Black Lightning's daughters, Thunder and Lightning, who both inherited his electric powers. So like Black people just go with electric powers like all the time. Like even Storm.
I wonder why that is. Like, why is that?
I don't know. Like, it's like some subconscious thing. Like we always get electric power.
Right. Like at least the major ones mainstream as far as beyond the comic books.
Am I the only one?
No, I thought it was me.
Okay, Ricky, we love it. You sound really crazy right now.
Turned into a robot.
Hardcore. And I was just like, is this me? Amanda's voice mod is on yo. That's it. She's ready.
It's not Amanda's voice mod.
She's ready to take over Amanda Waller, because I think the moment that you were saying about your internet has come. It was good. Oh, we're having all kinds of sound difficulties at the moment.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. Now, DC has gone full blown, and we have so many Black characters, so many fun new characters to explore. Though I still feel like if they're going to go into movies, they should explore the Black characters that exist rather than being like, oh, we have Black Superman. We're going to do a movie about Black Superman. It's going to be Kal-El, but Black. No, we don't need a Black Superman. We have Icon. Do a movie about Icon. Do a movie about Black Lightning. Do a movie about, I don't know. Oh, and then they have Naomi.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue that they're having right now. Trying to like make these reiteration of these. You have
Julian over here loving it.
Stop. No, like you have like this iteration of these characters. You already have a library of stuff. I'm gonna make a highlight of this. Leave me alone.
Ricky, I'm so sorry. But you sound okay. So it sounds like you're drunk. So you're like, so they have a library of stuff that and they can like you sound. I don't know. It's hilarious though. But okay, so I think what Ricky's trying to say is that yes, they have a whole catalog of other heroes that they can be using. Why do we keep getting like the black? Why are we getting the knockoff versions? Bitch, like we got plenty of those throughout the years. We don't need them. I know, Ricky. I felt bad. Oh, somebody said Superman. Somebody wrote Superman. No matter how much Superman drinking you've done. Oh, what? She does sound drunk though. This is so funny.
Hiya.
But yeah, we have Naomi coming out. I have heard nothing about that one.
Naomi, okay. Let me explain this real quick, and then we're gonna go. Naomi is a character created by Brian Michael Bendis in 2019. It was a 6-issue miniseries made about a black girl that was an alien abandoned in this small town where nothing super happens, and she has an obsession with Superman.
Oh.
And then Superman comes and smashes through the town for 17 seconds. She's mad that she missed it, and then goes hunting through everything to find out what everybody knows. And they're like, nothing like that ever happens here. Only thing, there was one other super thing that happened in this town, and that was 15 years ago. And she's like, I'm 15 years old. What happened back then? And it starts all this thing. And
well,
eventually
daughter, that's when we found you. You crawled out of the
and eventually it comes to find out, oh, I'm an alien. Who knew? I have powers. What? Where am I from? I don't know. They don't know. They were trying to find stuff out. But they find all this out in 6 issues. 6 issues. So then DC, and then she doesn't even get a superhero costume or a superhero persona until around the time of her 3rd issue comes out. And it's not even in her own book. She gets it in Teen Titans, where she has a crossover with them.
Tomatoes.
And then she thinks, and then the series ends, and we never hear from her again until the CW decides they're going to do a series about her, and they're going to expand her 6-issue miniseries into 26 episodes.
So essentially what they wanted was somebody with nothing to start with so they could make up whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, but the whole point of adapting a story, there's no way to successfully expand a 6-issue story into 22 hours.
Yeah.
She has no villains of her own. Her villains are the mystery of her past. She has no feats of her own, no story arcs to speak of aside from who am I?
We swear she's not drunk. We know she's not. We know she's not.
Oh man. Her whole series was just made so they could pitch it as a TV series. And that's it.
Well, it does give them some
now on the
leeway
TV show, they're like, oh, she has powers that are like Superman's, but in the comic books, she has powers that are more like Monica Rambeau and like light based.
I see. Well, that's the thing. I feel like they're just kind of taking a character that isn't so well fleshed out so that they can make it what they want.
I mean, yeah, there are characters that do that. Spider-Woman was like that. She was created for TV and had a myriad of powers until they like settled on something. But that was as a 12-minute cartoon series or a 30-minute cartoon series in 1979, where you don't have like a continuous story going across everything.
This is true. But well, DC, we all know, isn't very good at continuity anyway, so I don't expect there to be very much.
Shazam is not based on Superman. I hate you.
Oh,
that's what they tried to pull, and that's what DC Comics pulled on Fawcett Comics to sue them into the ground because they were mad because Captain Marvel comics were selling better than Superman comics. Captain Marvel Family was selling better than Superman comics or Action Comics, and they're like, well, he's clearly plagiarism because he's just like Superman. They both have super strength, and they're both white guys in capes, and they both can fly, and they both work for newspapers. One of them is Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter. The other one is Billy Batson, a 10-year-old boy who works as a paper boy in the morning.
Those are not quite the same at all. Like, nah, son, nah. They're out here reaching. Meanwhile, like, as if they've never played the copycat game themselves. So it's like, look at the pot kettle. I mean, look at the kettle calling the pot the whatever the fuck it is.
Well, it's different when DC
black.
does it because DC has the money to back themselves up. DC also, this is like in the 1940s. There weren't many characters to pilfer, even though they did straight up pilfer Aquaman and copy him from the Submariner. It did not.
Does it? Not. Maybe. In the comic, even?
Ooh, the reaches. Billy,
in the movie it does. In the movie it kind of does.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
Now they sort of made them the same, but like not. Also, Superman is an alien, and Captain Marvel gets his powers from magic, from a magic wizard.
That's where I get my powers from.
Tiger.
Hello. Isn't that the source of everyone's powers? No, just me.
He gets what?
Nothing. No, don't worry about it. Continue, sorry.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have today to explore the grand zones of Black history in Marvel Comics. Who was your favorite character? Who have we not gotten a chance to touch on and talk about? And who do you want to see in a movie? We want to hear from you all. So go into our Facebook and Twitters and all the stuff. Go into the comment section and tell us all the things. Like, share, subscribe, and talk to your friends about it. Talk to us about it. Whichever. You can find Julian at Bad Juju on Twitter, on where?
On
Aside
Twitch
from Twitter and Facebook?
Instagram, Twitch as well. I do. Yeah. Instagram, Facebook. Here you'll find it. You'll find me, and then Twitch for sure. I do some streaming over there. It's a good time. Come join us.
Billy says, "Thank you all for the info. Oh, for all the info, Jermaine. I do appreciate a good comic book geeking out. You're so welcome. I love doing this.
He does.
Comic books are my first fandom, so I will always be down for a good splash paging."
Oh, okay. Thanks, Billy, for joining us.
We miss you, Billy.
We miss you. When you're here, we appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we do miss you. Come by Mo. You can find us on Twitch and
All the things.
and all the things as Wonelly Media _/ whatever. Find us on Geekin' Out. We're always around.
Yes.
So enjoy your night. Thanks for having fun with us, and we'll see you next week at 5 or at 8, depending on where you are.
It was a word.
But for all the normal people, it's 8. It's 8. So, anyways,
we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Good night.